one of the many fine dining elements of his ploughman's platter. With the least to do, Lisa proceeds steadily through her prep, crushing dehydrated sage to accompany her dish. Across the kitchen, Johnny's cooking has yet to step up a gear.
Johnny, and you still...
Still what?
Still all right? Or
still what? Yeah. I'm all right. How are you doing? Don't worry about me, Petal, anyway. Worry about yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I am up against it, Bruno, I am. I've got to be honest with you. I've got so much work going on. The problem is all this stuff, I can't just have it sitting around, you know. It's not like your stuff. You can make in advance and just pop it in a microwave whenever you fancy.
Johnny may be a believer in his last-minute strategy, but Marcus is concerned that he still has so much to finish.
It's last minute.
A lot of it's last minute. A lot.
But Indian cookery is not last minute.
No, okay. Well, these dishes are. These genuinely are. All I need to do now is that. Then I need to do my barges, onion barges. Onion barges have to be done at the last minute.
I think Johnny may have a lot of work to do. That may be his downfall. My biggest worry is, can Johnny get to the sort of the finishing post of the starter?
In need of inspiration for his dish, Johnny looked to the food-sharing traditions of his wife's family. He headed to Leicester for a gathering of his in-laws and some fantastic home cooking.
Mummy chair. Oh, how are you? Looking beautiful. What?
Change.
You've got to get changed?
Get changed, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you in a bit. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Wally Cavano?
You look Indian.
I am Indian, but I'm just inside out. So what do we do, Mum? So joining this family completely changed my idea about sharing food. This is what it's all about. How do you think that the Great British Menu, how do you think they're going to take this, cooking Indian food?
People like Indian spice.
Yeah, definitely.
Johnny's keen to get some advice on his canvas.
What's your technique?
Yeah, the trick is, if it comes out easily, then it's done.
Oh, if you don't mind. Yeah. You know, that's what I'm looking for.
You can see, yeah.
Something like that.
Once he's picked up some top tips from Mrs. Patel to use in his starter, it's time for the family to enjoy the shared dishes.
This is definitely the way that I want to see people eating. It's all about families, it's all about communities and bringing people together, isn't it?
Having seen how good food can unite a family, Johnny is convinced that an Indian dish is the perfect way to begin his menu.
The starters are going to blow them out of the water. Bruno, Lisa, you better watch out because this little boy from the northwest is going to come through.
3 chefs are racing against the clock to complete 3 very different starters. Lisa Allen's keeping it simple with her crispy suckling pig pancakes and dips. Bruno Birkbeck's desperate to impress with his chefy take on a classic ploughman's. And Johnny Mountain's looking to grab the lead with his bold and elaborate Indian feast. All are hoping for top scores from former champion Marcus Waring, and he knows they're all feeling the pressure.
Bruno's first time, Lisa was a winner last year, and Johnny's been here and made a big mess of it last year. It's going to boil up, and it's going to get hot in there, and it's going to get tense, and they're going to be very, very nervous.
With Marcus's verdict looming, the chefs are pulling out all the stops to grab the lead. To top his mini shandy shots, Bruno whisks up a lemon foam. And Lisa cuts thin apple strips to add texture to her crispy pork pancake. But even though Johnny has plenty of his own work to be getting on with, he's not averse to showing off to his rivals.
Have a quick look at this, Svetlo.
Trying to put me under pressure, aren't you, Johnny, lad?
Yeah, I'm under pressure myself here. Have a look. So what we're doing is, this is the onion bhaji mix. I want them really quite rough. The idea that I'm looking for is that they come out almost aggressive, like a little star that's exploded.
But I've got to crack on, you know what I mean?
All right, right.
Now, with time running out, all eyes are on Lisa, who'll be the first to serve up today. She layers the sage-infused pancakes, which each guest can fill to their own tastes, with a pickled onion relish, a reduced spiced apple dipping sauce, her crunchy apple sticks, and finally her rested, slow-cooked shoulder of suckling pig.
Lisa, tell me, explain your dish.
It's my take on crispy duck pancakes, but done in a British way.
Yeah.
Are you happy with it, Lisa?
Yeah, I like it. And I think it's fun as well, and it's very interactive. It'll get people, hopefully, talking about the fact that I've done a little bit of a twist on it.
Guys,
enjoy, boys.
It's okay.
Has Lisa's East meets West concept done enough to prove to Marcus that it deserves its place at the banquet?
Are you happy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried to go down the routes that I believe in sharing, and I think it's a very good sharing vehicle, and it gives a theatre with it as well. People can make their own pancakes to what they want.
It tastes better than it looks.
Flavour in it.
Without being rude. Pork's perfect. Really nice.
Got the sage coming through.
The sage in the pancake, I was a bit worried about, but it's not gone bitter.
What's your feeling about the flavours?
I like the flavours. I think they're very clean because they've all got their different pungence in every way. You got the fresh apple, which gives you the crunch, the pickle of the onion. I think the pork is solidly there.
You can taste the spices coming through.
I thought she could have got the crackling a bit better, to be honest. I'm not being rude. I'd like to see that a bit more crackly.
Well, I was actually quite surprised to see you use an English pancake.
I chose to do an English pancake because I wanted to make it very much British.
It's very safe. That looks safe to me.
Right, okay.
It does. This doesn't scream, body!
I think it went well. I executed it the way I wanted to execute it and got across my points to Marcus, so hopefully it'll come as a good dish.
Next to serve will be Bruno. He's feeling the heat over the many precise elements of his ploughmans. He spoons his chutney into individual serving pots and transfers his pork cheek and Savoy cabbage terrine onto a slate platter, along with his mini shandies. Unlike his rivals, he's putting some elements of his dish onto individual plates. But does this mean he's ignored the brief and reverted back to a fine dining approach?
What do you think, Johnny?
Absolutely stunning. 100% stunning interpretation.
Are you worried?
I'm never worried.
And the sharing, is everyone just tucking into this?
Just everybody tucking into that. And
so everybody will get one of these plates?
Everybody gets one of those plates. Anybody gets a little shandy shot, and they take little bits from there.
Follow me.
Will his posh ploughman strike the right note with Marcus and his fellow chefs?
Are you happy with the wow factor of this dish?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's interesting, He's got the wow factor there. You got your little mini shandy. That's going to put smiles on faces. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
magical.
Looks
it's
lovely,
like Alice in Wonderland. But I don't know if it's the brief.
My interpretation of sharing is big pots for people digging and
then they get a plate or something. They don't get anything on it.
No.
You've half plated the dish.
that's because it's like a little chefy thing, and I quite like that sort of thing,
He's done some lovely cookery there. I think it's fantastic, but plating that the way like fine dining kind of thing.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
What's thought of this?
It's because when I go to a pub, I like a pint.
The mini pint.
You just sort of down it in one, then you mix it around in your mouth, and it's sort of supposed to take like a shandy shot.
It is a shandy.
Is it?
It is a shandy, yeah.
Fantastic, I like it.
I like these because they make you smell.
Anything on there you'd change?
At the moment myself, no, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously I want high marks, but I am pretty happy with what I've done, so that inside is good.
Bruno and Lisa can now only stand to one side as the attention switches to Johnny. But having left so much of his cooking to just before serving, he's cutting things fine. He cooks his onion bhajis and then begins filling his bel puri with a mixture of tamarind, dates and coriander.
Is we on time?
Always on time, Chef.
You sure?
Yep.
You've never been on time.
It's all last minute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a big presentation.
To complete his Indian feast, Johnny arranges his bel puri, bhajis and chutneys on his ornate serving platter.
Wow, very impressive.
And then dresses his yoghurt and gram flour canvi rolls in flavoured oil for the finishing touch.
Big statement, that, Johnny.
You said spectacular.
You certainly did.
Visual, didn't you?
It's not what I expected. Should we go and try it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Follow me, Johnny.
So will Marcus find that Johnny's Indian feast delivers on taste as well as looks?
Do you see that's really fitting in as a starter for a banquet and not as a sort of a canopy-like thing?
I think it's a perfect starter because it's a combination of quite a lot of things. It is a canapé thing. I mean, the size-wise, it's almost like help yourself. That's what I wanted to see.
Got a little tingle back at throat. Quite spicy.
You put the whole thing in and it almost bursts out with flavour, I hope.
You're happy that hot food, spicy food, you say it's not hot or spicy?
I think it's balanced quite well. You know, I didn't want them all spicy and I didn't want them all bland. Indian food is massive in our culture already, isn't it? I think they'll really get it.
We're looking at it, the texture, and then you pick it up and you think, oh, it's going to be really crispy.
It wasn't quite as crispy as...
No.
When I tried one over there, they were really crispy, but it's
The
not...
texture changes so quickly in it.
Yeah.
For an Englishman cooking Indian food?
Classic.
No, it's not.
It is. It's how it should be done.
It's such a culture.
It is. But
Like
it's
depth
more...
of knowledge.
Well...
I mean, you've dabbled into something here.
There's a real push about the whole presentation thing. Last year, I just chased people in the competition. This year, I want to be the leader.
With their 3 starters tasted, all the chefs can do is await Marcus's judgment. Which platter will he deem worthy enough to set in front of the honoured guests at the People's Banquet?
I'm quite nervous waiting for the scores. Obviously it's the first dish that goes up to represent the North West, and it starts to set the polls then.
Definitely nervous, don't know what he thought, you know, doesn't let much out. Hopefully I've done well.
I think that Lisa's cooked under her potential, in my opinion, where what I'm doing is I'm pushing my boundary. Lisa seems to have played it quite safe.
Lisa, your crispy pork, pancake and the dip, very simple in your approach. I thought you'd be a little bit more detailed. Crispy is a key word there for me. I think crispy, automatically in my mind, I want crispy all over it, like crispy duck. And I'm just wondering whether maybe turning that over and getting it crispier, maybe in a pan, maybe like they do in the Chinese restaurant. Bruno,
Yeah.
new kid on the block. Ploughman's, again, I thought very safe, been done before many times over. My criticism of the dish was the lack of generosity. I felt the whole thing was based around sharing, but yet it had a restaurant feel about it. Johnny, I actually thought during the course of the day today you were going to blow it again because you're doing a lot of talking. And I actually thought that maybe that could be your downfall again, but you've sharpened your knives. One criticism on your dish was that it was canopy-like.
Yeah.
Lisa, for your crispy suckling pig pancake and dip, I'm going to give you a mark of 8 out of 10.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Bruno,
Yep.
for your classic Ploughman's, the mark I'm going to give you, 8 out of 10.
Thank you very much.
And Johnny, for your Indian feast, I've also given you 8 out of 10.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the rival chefs finished the first day as they began it, as equals. They all know that this only adds to the pressure they're feeling.
Fantastic. 8 out of 10. Really pleased with it.
Yeah, I think to get an 8 in the first course is brilliant, you know, but you've set that benchmark for yourself now, so ultimately, you know, you want better.
Now I'm under more pressure because we are all right at the same point again, so I've got to fight harder.
Tomorrow, the battle continues with the fish course.
What have we done here?
Where's the heads?
I don't do heads.
And there's everything to play for.
That's a lot of fish to get right, that.
The heat's on big time in there, so it's going to be interesting.